Hey folks, Matt from artoftheimage.com. Recently, I was discussing the camera store's test and their conclusion that Nikon has the best color, that their JPEGs have the best color from their photos. And it begs the question, how much does the lens impact the color? In other words, if you're using, there's all different lenses in each lineup. You could use an off-brand lens like a Sigma or a Rokinon, and how much is that impacting the color? Because I don't believe that we really got that clearly defined on which camera they were using in which lens, and any discussion of how that might have impacted the color, as one of our viewers brought up right here. I've got that question or that comment coming in from Toxic Tabasco. He writes in and he says, perhaps a lot has to do with the type of lens. I found that lenses can change the JPEG color, look, as well as the contrast depending on the brand and type of lens. Nikon DSLRs seem to work well with Sigma lenses in terms of color and contrast. With Tamron, I found it to be too contrasty depending on the model of lens. Also, the Sigma 8-16 was a much darker lens with a lot more contrast versus the Nikon 10-24. So in my opinion, it all depends on the lens. Also, try an FX lens on a DX body and see the difference wide open. So that's some interesting thoughts from Toxic there on how the lens might have impacted these tests. Then viewer Howie Mudge had an interesting reply to Toxic. I watched the video and it was basically the default JPEG out of camera, and it was a very limited test and was subjective to what they felt was better. If you take into account, for example, the Fujifilm simulation modes, which again are straight out of camera but weren't used in the test, it's not as straightforward as they proclaim. From my own experience, I've found Fuji and Olympus to have the best looking JPEGs out of all the cameras I've used over the years, which include Nikon, Canon, Panasonic, Sony. Just a personal preference, of course. The one plus side of the test, it shows that all cameras these days are capable of producing good quality JPEG images irrelevant of the camera. And then Lord Helmchen, that's their YouTube username, further commentary and reply points out, but unfortunately they didn't tell the lenses they were using, camera versus lens, and then so this begs a question, was the test invalid because of the different lenses, because they weren't using a standardized lens? Is it a big deal? Does it make that much of a difference? It does. It definitely does make a difference. Different lenses, especially in terms of contrast and micro contrast and all sorts of things, they impact the characteristics of an image. That's why some people like certain lenses for certain reasons and don't like other ones for other reasons. So some great thoughts and feedback here from Toxic, from Howie, from Lord Helmchen. Thanks very much, folks. And let me know what you guys think. Do you think the test is still valid? Do you think there's anything we can gain from the test? Obviously, the observation is correct from Howie that they're all producing good quality. But as far as the color, let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know what your feeling is on this, and interested to hear your thoughts and discuss it. Thanks for tuning in, folks. Stay tuned. We'll be back soon here at artoftheimage.com.